Order on Monday, May 6th, 2024. My name is Naomi Miller. I'm the Chair of the Select Board. Does anybody have a conflict of interest with anything on this agenda? No. Minutes is the first item, and I think we don't have any minutes yet from last. Yeah. Before we move on to the warrants, I want to say that we are going to add something to this meeting. After the DPW report number 9, we're going to add some committee appointments. Okay, warrants. Items over $1,000. I guess it's Aflac, that is $1,037.64.
That's for employee extra insurance.
Thank you. And to the Bennington County,
Yes,
$38,941.61.
Those are Bennington County taxes.
Bennington County taxes, okay. And GA Bove Fuels, $1,974.65.
I think that's diesel. Right?
Diesel for the garage.
Yeah.
Diesel for the garage?
For the highway department.
Yeah.
For the equipment.
Thanks, Mike. Green Mountain Power, $1,067.41. I think we all know what that's for.
Absolutely. Electric.
Peckham Industries, $1,397.28.
That is shoulder stone gravel.
Gravel, yep.
Shoulder stone gravel, great. Stark Northeast, $1,229.90.
Stark North.
That's DEF fluid, so that's our emissions fluids for our diesel motors, and it's also motor oil too. They're all under the same category.
Okay, great, thank you. I didn't note at the beginning, I'm sorry, that this is a warrant for $53,399.70.
Naomi, can I just interject something?
Yes.
If you ever see a vendor that's unfamiliar, even if it's under $1,000, I would love it if sometimes you would randomly mention them.
Yes, I have been, but I just didn't want to do that tonight. I
Okay.
told Paula I wouldn't because this is her first
And
meeting.
just as with the changing of the guard, I think it's
Yes.
a good idea.
Yes, thank you, Melanie. I will indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I need a motion to approve this. So moved by Tony.
Right.
Can I have a second? Second by Mike. Any discussion of anything I've read out? Questions? Nope. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed 500. Okay. Announcements. First of all,
Sign it.
oh, we have to sign it.
Right.
Wow. There you go. First of all, I wanted to welcome Paula Eichen to her first Select Board meeting. We're very glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here too. Thank you.
Thanks. She's not on Zoom, but she is on CAT TV, right? And I wanted to announce again that on May 20th, 2 weeks from tonight at 4:30, we're having a welcome potluck. Everybody's invited, the public included. People can bring food if they want, and if they don't, they can just come and eat and say hi to Paula, and that's just before the Select Board, 4:30, May 20th. And did you have an announcement,
Yes, I also
Martha?
have an announcement that it is the town of Shaftsbury's year to host the Memorial Day Parade. And so we will be having our Memorial Day Parade that goes around Cleveland Avenue, starts over here in the parking lot, Monday, May 27th, which is actually the day of Memorial Day. There'll be a little ceremony like there always is over at the Veterans Memorial at 8:30, and then the parade steps off at 9. And like I said, we'll go around Cleveland Avenue. If any organizations or nonprofits or any folks want to march in the parade, if you can send an email to Marlene Hall, our town clerk, to get on the list of folks to march. We'd love to have you.
Any other announcements?
I'll send the warrant back over.
Thank you. Okay. Time for public comments. Anybody want to say anything from the public? We have a couple members of the public. Silent members. Okay, thanks for being here anyway. The treasurer's report.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Jen, can we pull up the cash flow first, please? Okay, so this is a completed cash flow for the month of April. Oh, there was there. You can see the largest number there is delinquent taxes, and I'm sure Holly's here, so she's going to talk about that. But the thing that I did the due to, due from, to return cash to the general fund from the reserve cash for checks that you wrote on reserve funds. So that's to bring our the cash in the general fund up to a realistic level, and we keep a close eye on that this time of year because that's got to see us through to the end of the fiscal year. As I've said, I think we're in pretty good shape as long as you keep a tight watch on the purse strings. If I look down a little bit, that check's written in April number, of course, that includes purchasing the house over there. So it looks elevated, but it's actually the warrants in April were about what we expect to see this time of year. So you see our cash balance at the end of April was about $260,000, and that's a realistic number. So that's got to see us through the end of June. It actually would be best if it could see us through to August when the tax bills go out, but we'll be keeping a close eye on it. If we need to, we can get a line of credit to see us through until the money starts flowing when the tax bills are out. So if we could look at the bottom of it, Jen, please. So this is our comparison to the budget status at this time last year. Last year was, you can see where our revenues are ahead of more than 100%. That's because of how high interest rates are right now. I think that we've talked about that a couple times. That accounts for the entire difference between what we usually see and what we are seeing this year. And so it's nice for the money we have in the bank, but it also costs us a lot for anything that we're having to pay interest on. So it balances out, but it does make revenues look a little elevated. Expenditures are at about 83%. That's good. You can see last year, for various reasons, we had spent more of our budget by this time last year, by this time of the year last year. So we look much better than last year. If I were to compare it to, I think, 3 years ago, of course that was COVID, that was weird. This is a more normal year than the last few years. Any questions about any of that? Okay, if we could take a quick look at reserves, and you're just going to see the other side of some of the things I was just talking about. If you look at the debits column there, that was all the money that was due to mostly that was money that was due to the general fund. So that's why you're seeing those subtractions. On the plus side, all that was water, and I believe we have talked about all of those already. The bulk of that was the water that came from the closing on the house over there, and also one last payment from the state for people who were falling behind on their utilities. We're not going to be seeing numbers like that anymore. And then the new bills will go out I believe, in this month. So water payments will start coming in again, but those are the arrearages, and we won't see money like that again. So you see if you look down at the ARPA funding line, And that's a big subtraction. That's from both the house and other money that we've been paying out of that fund. So you see the cash balance there with interest is $669 as of today. Any questions about any of that? Okay, and so you probably all know that we've got a new bookkeeper, so she's hit the ground running. She knows, especially with payroll, she knows more than anybody in this building, so she's taking things on right away, and I think she's going to be a huge addition.
Great. That's
Nice to
great.
hear.
Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Holly Bain, come tell us about the delinquent tax
Well, I
situation.
thought this would be a good way to start, where I started from and where I am at now. It's been quite a learning adventure.
Thank you.
At the beginning, I was 352.6,
Wow.
and right now I'm 103.1.
Wow.
Wow.
Holly, that's
You have
incredible.
collected a lot.
It's, I've, when I started, I sent an agreement out to everybody. I have some of the people that have really had a long-standing, that are now starting to pay. I have about well, I'll wait to talk about that. I went from 8 pages of people down to 3, so, but there's a couple on the pages that I don't know how we'll ever get the money, but, so does anybody have any questions for me? Because I really don't know what to say.
So what's been the story? What's been their story about delinquent taxes?
Why they haven't paid?
Yeah.
Some have had some hard times with medical issues. I've got a couple right now that are in probate court because of deaths. I only have about a handful. That's really what I'd like to talk to you
Yeah.
about. That I must be, I can't get them to, my mail's not coming back, so I think they're getting it. I have a couple that have reached out and said, yes, we're going to start, and still nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give grace to all my neighbors and friends in this community I've lived in all my life. But at the same time, I have about 7 that I think they're going to have to go to tax sale. I guess I'd have to ask permission for that, to do that. Called, notes. I don't think I should be begging people. I asked them, just let me know the situation, and I'm not getting any response. So either they'll come out of the woodwork if the word tax sale comes up, or it will have to go to tax sale. Hate to think of that, but I'd ask permission, but I also would like to speak to Kevin O'Toole. He did suggest that I put out a demand letter, but to me, that's the same avenue as the tax sale. So I guess I'd like to know your feelings about this, because I have to have your permission. Everyone gets an agreement. It's pretty, show effort, show, I can work with you. The new taxes are 6 months away. It's doing the community, the tax base, no favors, and not trying to get something done about the ones that have been, some of the ones that are more than 1 year have been easier than the ones that are just current, it's, so. But any questions of me?
So the government, the state refund, the relief from ARPA is gone, right?
I don't know any, ARPA, I don't know about ARPA. I don't receive ARPA. Maybe Melanie, but I don't, ARPA funds aren't something that comes to me.
Right, I think that there were ARPA
program.
funds that went to individual taxpayers for tax relief.
They had, for a couple of years, they did have a program. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's gone.
But
It's gone.
yes, that's no
Okay.
longer.
Okay.
That's no longer. So,
I respect your feeling of intersecting with our neighbors who are in trouble in some way. But on the other hand,
You have,
we do have to respect
and I.
the needs of the town as a whole.
I have two that I'm right there on that because they have set something, but at the rate of it, it'll be 5 years trying to catch up with what they owe now, and then, it's, but I'm for, I'm set to set out another statement on the 10th, this Friday. I plan on putting a little note, one more, before I get them to Kevin O'Toole.
For
Just
tax.
please, by,
Yeah.
within 10 days, you need to get a hold of me, make a quarter of a payment of this whole bill in a payment arrangement, or it's going to have to go to legal.
What's been the history of that? I think I remember hearing that there have been tax sales
There have
almost
been
every
tax
year.
sales,
Is that
yes.
right?
Yes,
So, I mean, it's not an unusual thing to have to do.
right.
And it often kind of sparks the payment to
Right.
then, because it is so drastic. And I know that you're working to treat people with dignity and
Right,
it is,
but I'm also
but you
the tax
also need
collector,
to,
so I-
yes. And it's a hard job, and we appreciate what you're doing. It really is.
It's been going,
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
really, the numbers and the amount that has
Yep.
come forward is really impressive.
I have
because-
another probably, I think 18,000 I'm going to give Melanie this week, and whatever else I can
Yeah.
collect. I'm excited about Tiffany, though, because I think I've had great mentoring from Nimrick,
Good.
but she might have something that she knows as she works with the tax collector. Of course, I worked with my father for 30 years, however, not the nitty-gritty of the
Right.
20% that I'm really learning now.
Right.
But
So is the demand, so the next stage with somebody would be to receive, if they haven't communicated at all, they have been demanded, but that's before any proceeding has started about, is that like just essentially volume?
once now I'm pretty new to this, but a letter goes out, and I would say half of what the people that get that letter come up with a solution. There's usually, say you started out with 8, maybe you'll have 3 or 4. That's how I've seen it when my father had done it in the past. Maybe Mr. O'Toole may have a different, but we also have the new legislation that's maybe coming out that, and I'm not well-versed on that, but it could, they were fighting to keep the 1% for the towns, but that may go away. They are, what I had heard was it would be a much higher threshold before you could do a tax sale. But that's all part of my plan and talking with him tomorrow. But I guess I don't know how it happens. If I ask and you say, okay, we're in agreement, or how you make a vote on, I don't know how it works.
So you need our approval for things you will be doing in this next 10 days. Is that?
Or even 20, you know what I mean? And my next steps with the lawyer, or without the lawyer, with, hopefully, my next statement, I can say tax sales are being rounded up, I need, I need something. I'll send them another agreement letter so that, I've offered that I take phone calls 7 days a week, It's not a 9 to 5 job during the week. It could be 8 o'clock on Monday night. It could be Sunday at 2, you just...
Should we see what Kevin O'Toole, maybe let you kind of hash it out with him and just get
Because
all
I hate to thought, I'm just...
I know, it's tough. It's
But-
really tough.
But, and maybe some of the people that I'm thinking of, maybe I've missed something. Maybe I don't know. There are about 7 that, just no correspondence, no...
I think that is usually what happens is if you send out 7, notices that this could happen, it shakes the tree, and then you get down to 2 or 3 that are really not answering at that point.
Right.
So you want to report back to us, maybe even just through Paula, if you don't
Okay.
want to come in again?
I think the next step is the attorney.
Yeah, and maybe she
Yeah,
could
and then you can kind of
report back to
lay out
us.
the steps, how long it has to be, and,
Yeah.
before it can go up for tax sale, because I think,
Yeah.
If the law does change, it might make it harder for us to, not that we want to be overzealous about this, but we
No,
want
but it may be coming quickly.
Right, so-
And it could be incorrect, but after it passes, you follow the new...
you've already done more than my wildest dreams here, so
Yes.
it is going well, and if the town is comfortable with, I know last year, at the end of the year, I think there was $73,000 left from that came over, and then when the new taxes came out, I had $304,000. So it has been going well.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
and these breakdowns that you have in the total column from 5, 6, 24, each of these, the totals is just what's left in the year 2017 is just
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Or
And
maybe
if I
multiples of 100.
I did bring a list, but...
Right, and I just wanted to make sure that those were each, so, it seems like some immense work has been done, and some of these, years that have been long standing bills, so it really is
some of them
very
have come
impressive.
down
By
incredibly.
half or more, so it really is an impressive amount.
This, I don't know if you want to thumb through that. That is just what, where some are, you might have some of my notes on there, but some people are in agreements, some people...
And when you say that they're in agreements, what does that mean in terms of yours?
say they owed $4,000. What I had said is, to be paid off before the next tax bill comes out, you would need to pay.
Like $200 a month for, okay, so it's a payment plan that they kind of, okay.
And I've got 2 that I also had on my payment plan, we'll revisit this in 3 months, and 2 months have gone by with, they did real good in the first 2, and then 2 have gone by and I haven't seen anything, so.
Yeah, it's so hard.
It's,
Okay.
so what I'm hearing you say is I need to speak to Kevin O'Toole and speak to Paula.
Yep,
Yeah,
and then I think
We'll just take it from there.
Okay.
And, you could make a recommendation to Paula, to us through Paula. It's a hard job, and thank you.
we really
Thank you so
appreciate,
much
and for
it
taking on what was a lot to begin with.
To change over from my dad's 35-year
His system was, yes, it's a very different system.
Was getting a little clicky. There were some things I couldn't even find. So we switched to the NEMRIC, but we aren't hooked, the treasurer and I, so it's kind of hard to even say some things,
Yeah, right.
Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, though.
Thank you.
You wanna-
Okay, thank you
wanna
so
give us
much.
that one, but
Sure, if you don't mind.
or I'll just,
Or do you have another copy? Or,
Do you feel the need to see more documents? Tony?
No,
No,
neither.
I just wanted to quick,
Thank you so much, Holly.
thank you, Holly.
thank you.
Thank
Sorry if I kept on stage.
you.
No, not at all. Great. Okay, time for the DPW report.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mike.
I just have a couple things that we got to go over and discuss. We did talk about approving to hire somebody back. I don't know, did you?
Yep.
right.
Well, I got a phone call from that individual and he cannot help us out. So I would like to go a different route and I'd like to have permission to hire a seasonal part-time employee from now till the end of the summer, fall, end of the year, whenever.
Okay.
We normally do hire somebody every year.
Right.
Around this time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I kind of found something that was going to work out a lot easier than advertising it, and it didn't work out.
Right. Okay.
it's too bad.
Yeah.
It's too bad, but yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm asking is just so we have permission just to advertise it, take applications, and interview a few people and pick somebody within the next couple weeks.
Okay, so,
I have a little
Can I have a
job
motion?
description, but it's all it basically is just buildings and grounds maintenance, be mowing and helping us and taking care of Howard Park, the bathrooms, whatever we do out here, if we use this, the other park on Cleveland Avenue, so.
so
Right now,
general assistance in the Department of Public
Yeah,
Works,
yeah, it'll be all on
part-time for the summer.
mostly on the park side and in the town office. I mean, usually we trim the bushes and all that stuff, but we're running behind because there's only a couple of us, and we're trying to get all the roads graded for the season if the weather lets us. And I just feel like I'm falling behind, so I would like some more assistance.
Any leads?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. You sounded like you had somebody.
Yeah, one of the guys on the crew knows a younger gentleman
Good.
that is pretty ambitious, so I emailed him an application and just told him to fill it out and give it to me.
But we do need to post it.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
it will go out on the website and,
Yeah.
The other
I told
regular
Paula
venues,
that,
yeah.
just ask Dave, because he had 3 different things that he posted. I'm pretty
See him tomorrow.
It was the website, a small little ad in the banner, and I know that it's in another web, if it was
Probably the
VLCT or
VLCT,
something.
yeah.
But
Okay. So can I have a motion to approve the appointment of
so moved.
part-time
So moved.
moved by Tony,
Yeah.
second by Brad. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor?
aye.
Okay. Passed
Cool.
5-5.
Thank you.
5-0.
that will help.
Good.
The other thing is, we, back in, when was it? July of '22, we were awarded a V-Trans paving grant for White Creek Road. And just like Buck Hill, same thing. But that deadline for that grant is this year, so we have to pave that road this year. So I'm also which we used to do when Dave was here, is he would run by the select board before I solicited the bids out to the contractors and everything, before we, and then I'll give this to the contractors and then they'll deliver the sealed bid and you guys will open it and then we'll award it from there. We had, with our match, we had like $233,000. And I think the town match is only like 33,000 and the rest of it is 200, and that should cover the whole project, no problem. And that would be paving White Creek Road from Rolland Road to the state line.
Is that gonna fix that area?
So that's going to be up around that corner.
Yeah,
That's
that's further up.
That's a totally different
Yeah.
project. MSK did a study on that. I'm still kind of looking at it. I'm really not totally sold on what they said. I do believe that some of what they said needs to be done, but I think more needs to be done there. So I think that area is going to be a pretty big project, and we'll have to apply for a grant for that one too. But
That's outside of the paving area?
that's, yeah, so that would be south of where we're paving.
Yeah,
Right around by, when you're,
sticks.
Stacks, right on that corner, where they're doing all the work right now in that field.
Yeah, okay.
Right, just before that, the road's been kind of sloughing since
Yeah.
A
it's
long
falling
time.
in.
the 80s maybe.
Yeah.
We think it's falling in. What
Yeah.
about the one by Brownell?
That one seems to
Is
stabilize.
that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a letter from this, because Art, when he wanted me to have the state look at a few things, and V-Trans wrote a letter, and they walked the road and did some studies and told me a few things that we have to do out through there, but everything seems to be holding up okay.
Good, good.
But
So what you need from us is approval for the town to put in its,
To put out to bid.
yeah, to
put out a bid, but also to approve the matching funds.
I would say so, yeah. Yeah, it won't come out of this, it won't get paid till, I'm guessing, we're so late in the year right now, all the paving over here probably won't happen until September or October. It'll be late like Buck Hill too, so the funds will be out of next year's budget
I see.
anyways.
So you don't really need us to do that part right now?
Not right
It's
now.
just the putting it
Yeah.
out to bid.
Yeah, so I want to put it out to bid, and then I have it written on here that the contractors have to turn in their bids by May 30th at 12 o'clock. I don't know, me and Dave, we've always kind of done that, and I'll give you this so that you can read it. And then we'll open it Monday, June 3rd at the meeting,
Great.
and then I'll review it, and then we'll award it from there. Because, I mean, if it's way over what we have, then we have to figure something else out, but I think it's going to be very similar to Buck Hill. It's a little bit shorter of a distance, so I think the numbers are okay.
Great. So can I have a motion to?
Can I just ask a question? So the matching funds come from the Department of Public Works budget?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we have a paving reserve fund, and some of the money would come from there, and then some of the money might come from the Class 2 roadways part of it too. So, yeah, that would all come out of the DPW's budget. And it should be, talking with Dave when we did this, it should be all budgeted because we knew we had this grant. So I'm pretty sure we're okay.
Great.
All right, I'll make a motion to authorize Mike to send out those bids to bid this job.
I'll second.
And now is the time for more questions, if
Yeah.
anybody has
Yeah,
them.
ask him.
What did they find when they did those core samples? It was just mud in there, is that?
Dry,
Oh,
yeah.
so it's just
Really?
dry landslide?
Yeah, that's why and there was no stabilization of the bank or anything in their report. They only want to put under drain like 7 feet down too, and it's like a weird, it's really deep for
Yeah.
under drain.
Yeah.
But there was nothing about rebuilding the road, and I talked to the engineer about this, like, I want to rebuild this section of road.
Yeah, because it
And-
tilts the wrong way.
Yeah, and there was none of that in there, and we paid a lot of money for it, and I'm not very happy with the report, but
Wow.
that's what they gave us. But I actually have a lot of good information from that report that I'm having somebody else look at, so we can go from there too. But that's gonna be a whole nother project too, that we'll have to apply for a grant for that one, which we can apply for, a V-Trans grant like this next year when they come out.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
500. Thanks.
Just a couple other things. We got some maintenance to do up at Howard Park. We got to fix that footbridge that's on the trail. It seemed to have aging pretty bad, so we got to rebuild that. And we got to finish up picking up the green up trash bags. Got a little drainage project on the top of Timber Trail. We got to replace a culvert and clean some ditches that haven't been done. I don't think anybody's been up there in 40 years. I think it's kind of been forgotten. With all the rain and everything, it's kind of like washing out the section of this guy's land and stuff. So it's nothing out of the ordinary, just some general maintenance up there. And then we're going to continue road grading. That'll keep on going and going. It's never ending. And if you're wondering why I've kind of picked roads, why we graded here and graded there, and I just, over the last couple of years, I've kind of figured out a way to do it, and it seems to work. So that's why we've been jumping around.
We've all had our eye on that.
Yeah, I doubt it. And then the shed was bought, the trailer's going to be removed from the transfer station the week of the 20th. So that'll all be installed, so we'll have to work on that little project, and we'll get that all buttoned up for Shelley and Greg. And
They're going to have to move out of the one and do something with the stuff, right, until...
I'm trying to plan it all so it works within, yeah, they might have 1 or 2 days where they're going to have to work outside. I don't know. I'm not outside, but they should be in that building. It's just not going to be power or finished or anything, because we have to add the electrical to it, insulate it, and we're going to plywood the inside and build her a little desk area so she can sit. And we really should look into getting the cash register deal too up there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think once that building's set, I think it's time for that mailbox to go. I just don't feel that a lot of people are being honest with it. And I've talked to Greggy about it too, but he doesn't want to have confrontation with people, so.
But this way, she'll be closer to them.
Yeah.
And so there'll be 2 of them supporting each other to...
Yeah, and it's all going to be,
Yeah.
down level with the ground too,
Yeah.
so we don't have to worry about, we got to build a little ramp in front of the porch on the new building, just to make it handicap accessible, and there won't be any stairs or anything. And, yeah, so that'll happen in a couple weeks, but we're moving forward with that.
Great.
That's about it. Yeah.
Then on Daniels Road, there's a part that slumped a little.
Yes, we'll be back.
Gotcha.
It's
It's
so,
making like a lake that wasn't there before.
yeah, and it's so wet that if we try to excavate where it sloughed off
Yeah.
there, it's just gonna make it worse. So I've been kind of waiting, but it just keeps raining every 2 days.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
scrambled up there one day and it was just, so maybe I started the whole problem.
when you put your sign up there.
That's right, yeah.
No, there was a stump there that we pulled and we backfilled it in November, and then just with all, it's very, very wet in
Yeah.
that area, and it just sloughed off, but yeah, that's on the list too, but it's looking like June.
I just drive by it 3 times a day. So.
Yeah, I appreciate it though. Yeah, anytime you see anything like that, don't be afraid.
My own driveway could use some attention, but I guess you guys probably can't.
A lot of people say that. I think that's all I have, unless anybody else has any more questions.
No?
Thank
No more
you very
questions?
much.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
You too.
Good luck, have a good trip.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
happy anniversary. Okay, we have 2 committee appointments to recommend. One is for the Recreation Committee. We are recommending Tony D'Onofrio for that, and the other is for the Economic Development Committee, and it is John Ferrocci, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but Ferrocchi perhaps, that you're recommending. Is that correct?
Correct.
Could I have a motion and then we can discuss it?
So move to appoint them to the committees.
Second?
Can I get second then?
Okay. Do you want to talk about this a little bit? Do you
I
have
can certainly, so both of these members of our community had wanted to participate, and we're very excited. We're very lucky and fortunate to have people that step up and participate. They had sent their respective resumes and letter of interest for openings that were happening on boards. And they were reviewed, and John is a business owner over in Wilmington who lives here in Shaftsbury and is interested in participating on the Economic Development Committee. And Tony has been in buildings and grounds at the high school for many years and a firefighter, and his resume really spoke to some of the needs that the Recreation Committee is looking for. So they were really great, kind of right at the right moment candidates. It
Yeah.
was very wonderful. And we appreciate them stepping up to serve.
I think Tony's has the potential to bring some stuff to the rec committee that it's sorely needing right now, expertise about the buildings and grounds
Landscaping
end of
and-
stuff.
Yeah.
So, what do people think?
I was going to motion, but we already did that. Yeah, no, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Anything else? Nothing else? Okay. Good, we're going to appoint these
Yeah.
guys.
Yes.
Let's say all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We got 2 new committee members.
Good.
Passed 500. That's great. Congratulations to Tony and John, and thank you.
And so maybe we want to reach out to the chairs of both of those committees to have them reach out to their new members.
Yes, sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a good idea. We'll put that on our action
Action
items,
item list.
which we haven't gotten to yet. We're to other business.
Other business?
No.
Any other business?
I guess
Yes.
just because today, I wasn't sure, I warned my first meeting today of the sewer feasibility study. I've never actually put together a meeting before and done that, so it was wonderful. But we weren't sure who had the responsibility of putting the agendas in the post offices, basically. And Jen had suggested that we just kind of formalize whose task that is. I don't mind doing it for my committee if that's the way we decide to do it, or I don't know if Dave did it. I don't know who brought the physical copies to the post offices in the past, but
I have them to bring. I can do it in the morning, but that was my question today.
I know.
And I think
I
Marlene
do
and I
it for the
confused her
select
because I had never done that. I only did the web. So when she asked us, I was like, I don't know. I guess Dave did it.
I guess if nobody knows
We should
of
ask.
anybody having done it, it must have been Dave.
Yeah, I can ask
But we
them
should
tomorrow.
ask them and clarify,
I'll ask
and that
them
way
tomorrow.
we'll just know for future
I
if
did it
it's,
for the select board meeting, so
on something
it's-
like that or not.
Yeah, but as we develop more committees, it might be,
It might
Post
become.
office
Yeah.
all
it might become an onerous thing.
I just kind of assumed it was whoever made the agenda.
Yeah, you said that this
Yeah.
morning, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask Dave tomorrow.
Yeah.
maybe if it's your responsibility, but you're free to delegate it, I guess, too. It could be a way to, just to, because it could become, there's meeting, it could be doing that every day, basically.
That's true.
It could become a burden. So.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea.
Ask Dave.
We could make it your business, but you're free to.
Right. Who looks bored?
You.
Who's causing trouble?
Delegation's a good thing.
Okay, anything else? No? All right. Review of action items. You didn't come with your little,
I didn't come with my whiteboard
Board.
today because it didn't seem like we might need one, but it sounds like we need to reach out to Rick on the Economic Development Committee or just chat with him and just reach out to John to welcome him onto the board. And then we'll have to get a message to Deanie about Tony and welcoming him to the board.
and maybe you could do
I can
that,
do
because I will
that.
be away.
Yes, I will
Thank
do
you.
that.
Okay, I think And Paula's going to ask David anyway, just as a backup. Because he might have a little elf that he used to assign the
Maybe.
test.
Wouldn't that be nice?
All right. We are now going to go into an executive session. We need to go into an executive session to discuss personnel, and we will not be coming out of it to do anything. So, but could I have a motion to enter executive session?
Or I'll make a motion to enter executive session.
Mike,
I'll second.
Tony seconds, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
So we're going into